repeat, I am powerful. I am powerful. Louder, I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. Well, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Today, I have a special guest. Let me introduce yourself to the world.
I am Elaine Henley, and I am new at Change
MFCR,
Yes,
not you.
MFCR. And I'm really excited to be here with the team, joining the team, and looking to help people make some of the positive changes that I've been able to make, and I've been able to help other people make along the way.
Yes, we're very happy to have you. There's a lot of reasons. This will give me the opportunity to say them. So we are excited about you being here. One of the reasons is your experience as a teacher. Give it up for the teachers out there. But yes,
22.
Oh, how?
22 years,
22 years.
Florida public school system, and I actually started right in Osceola County,
Oh, no. Okay, here.
just south, in
Got it.
the Poinciana area.
How did you make it? Because, we hear everything that goes on,
Yes.
and I, as a professional, whatever I go, couldn't imagine like in such an important job because it's what else is there, right?
Yes.
And it being so
Yeah,
not good.
no, I know. There's, it's always kind of a joke with teachers. If somebody asks you what you do, you don't usually really know what to say.
Really?
Well, because it's, especially if you're a middle school teacher, which is what I primarily was, because you always hear the
Like,
is usually the response, because not only is teaching itself, it's something that I think people idealize on one hand, but then they demonize on the other.
which I don't get the demonized part, but
And so, they're bad actors in every field. So, there's some horror stories that come out of education. Then there are also a lot of hero stories. And being someone that is intimately familiar with all of the ins and outs of education, I think the most significant piece of it is who's being impacted the most are our children. And that's where, people have unfortunately taken advantage and made it's just been something that I feel like politicians tend to try to
use either way.
use.
Yeah.
Correct.
And that should be like
Yeah.
off limits, in my opinion.
Yes. But people they'll make promises, we're going to fix education and we're going to do this, and they run off of these things, and their whole political platform will be based on that. But in actuality, the year, the even the kids with the lunches and things like that, they do have a lot of good programs for school lunches, and even where on the weekends there's one group that provides book bags, and they'll fill them with food, and they'll send the food home with the kids that are in the poverty line. But it's just very difficult to provide for the needs of that many people, that many children, and the needs that they have. And we're not just talking about like food or clothing, but we're talking about emotional needs.
Yes.
Which is what ultimately prompted me to get into this area in this field, because the emotional need and the lack of there's not a lot of structure to support it. We think that guidance counselors are trained to counsel,
but they can't.
but they're not.
And that's not there.
They're mostly used as in schools as test coordinators. Maybe a community concierge would be a better fit for them as a name, because they link people with resources, but they are not able to actually provide therapy. As we, become more aware of the needs for mental health practitioners in the school systems, we'll see maybe more politicians connect onto that, because that seems to be the only way to
I don't know about
get the things that we need to accomplish. But more funding for that kind of thing. They even in the last year of teaching, or last few years actually, I think the past cookie cutter programs and having the teachers deliver this type of program. And in the program, it requires conversation and
Yeah,
communication,
and that's not their
and that is
training.
it is not their
You know?
training. And then when something gets opened up in a classroom, when they're executing some of this curriculum, it becomes almost a nightmare. It can derail an entire day,
Yes.
and worse if there's not if it's not wrapped up correctly. I mean, we understand these things after going through clinical training, but teachers are not given
Yeah,
that
that's
kind of
not what
training.
they.
And even at some point, we need to ask: do we expect our teachers to also be certified mental health counselors?
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Because well,
or at least in some
we-
form
we're
or way.
already
Yeah.
we're already not providing teachers with the income that would match the skills that they can transfer to many other
Yeah.
fields. But then to ask that on top of it, I don't know that individual that would be that person. Like that's going to not only care for the educational needs of the child, but also the emotional and social needs for the child.
And
And
it would
I
make
think
a
it's
difference. Like this is what I don't understand. Like that why not pour into it? Because if we're really trying to change society, we want crime to go down, drugs, that's where it starts. That's where it started for me. My downfall, it's not because of the school, came from not being able to get the help in these schools. My parents didn't know how to get the help. I put you in a box and
well, you
but
see this kind of thing too from the other side, the teaching side, and it becomes so disheartening, and it becomes a source of disillusionment for many new and young teachers that come in when they will have a staff meeting where they will spend, I remember spending about an hour, instead of talking about resources for the community and ways that teachers can help in that vein, as far as like getting people more connected, so it's not just all falling on guidance. They talked about someone came from the Department of Corrections, and they explained to us how important the student grades were, because they use those to determine the number of prisons and things that need to be built.
what? Wait, I didn't know that. What do you
So
wait? But this is for real. Like
this
you're
is for
saying
real.
that. So they what? What do you mean?
There's an evaluation system that all teachers use to evaluate students based on their behavior, their responses in normal day-to-day situations in school, and or that are dropping out. This is going to ultimately impact your society, which is going to ultimately impact civil
Okay,
planners.
so instead of doing putting some mental health professional there, they
Correct. We're gonna
open more jails.
correct.
Wow, I didn't know that. You actually
And
taught me something
I,
today.
over the course of several years, have I haven't done like a deep dive or anything, just
You're talking about from what you see, yeah.
shallowly skimming the surface. Looks to me like prisons are big business.
Oh, they are.
And
I don't know if you know much about. I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. I mean, everybody can tell just by me saying hi, but yeah, they are. They are, and we know. I think the mind-boggling thing is we know this. I don't think everybody thinks people that
no,
live there know what's going on, but because we see it, right?
Yep.
You would walk in my neighborhood and we're at risk of getting arrested. The cops would just put you on the wall. It was just crazy. And you would end up in jail. And we had a saying that we are going to end up, not us, but people who would be in jail or dead by the age of 18. That was a guarantee. It's hard to come out of that lifestyle knowing this, because you believe it. Your teachers are telling you, and I don't think it's the teachers' fault. Now that you're saying this is what they're telling you guys too. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's a bad outcome.
A lot of it is, and that's the thing. It's like teachers go in, and I mean, that's another thing I would see year after year after year. We get a new crop of teachers, and
they're
come in
excited. Yeah, I'm gonna change the world. Yeah.
I don't care if I have to buy toilet paper for myself and the kids for the whole year. I'm gonna go to Walmart and get everybody paper to last.
Because that's why a person that would get into that field
That's
knowing
how
that
they are.
you're not gonna get rich off of it.
Correct.
That's your. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then, they get hit little by little. We're not
Realize.
gonna exactly. We
Yeah.
start to realize this is not, hey, we're all in it for the kids.
Yeah.
And it
So what can I do in this big system that's designed for?
and eventually you end up there.
I did not know that about grades and that's shocking
Mhm.
because to be honest, that's it. You sentence this person for that life because imagine if you have the system telling you guys, the teacher, yeah, they're
Well, because when they
for
fall,
that.
they fall. Because the parents are not going to, they're not going to have the resources
Don't-
or possibly
Yes.
understanding.
Which is usually why that kid is in that situation.
And
Because-
then the kid usually will end up tracking this kid, even though we're tracking them. It's a lot of effort that goes into tracking.
I didn't know this. I swear. And
Where-
this is all of public school, you think, or
Oh yeah, this is all. This is all.
and how long has this been going on? More or less, if you were to guess. It sounds like they're professionals.
Yeah, I would say decades and decades. I mean, even if you look back into the start of the purpose of organized education like this was started to produce employees that would work. They worked on a schedule. There was a bell that would ring. You would
Yeah,
do
that's the
something else.
design. Yeah. We all know
So,
that.
yeah. So it's like it's like people mills kind of, but it's not. I don't feel like it's something that can't be fixed, but I feel like it's going to take as many people that started it and invested in it and brought it together to change it. And there are so many voices coming from different places. It's hard for people to see a straight path on how can we get things back on track with
But
education.
I've seen, I don't know, I've seen some, I really had a bad view of it. I dropped out of high school. Dropped out of high school at 15. When I saw this, you can't do anything without nothing, I went and got my
Yeah.
GED, and then I went back and went through the schooling and got the bachelor's and all that. But I met some really powerful people that are making a real difference. I can't say her name, but every year I go and I do a speech for kids that are, but they're graduating, like they made it.
Yes.
And the director of that program, I mean, this person is beautiful. She's making that impact. She's supporting these kids throughout their high school years, and it's working because they're graduating and they're not going to jail.
Right.
And then she even goes out and finds money to get them. It's just, I think you could change it. It's
Yeah.
going to take like
A lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of hands, and it is doable. But again, I mean, it's going to take everybody. It's not a superintendent effort. It's not a teacher. Everybody has
Everybody has to do
to
their
be
part.
involved from top to bottom.
So yeah, it's sort of like that. And I've seen these teachers,
Yep.
and it's a shame because some of I'm telling you, a lot. I was around it all day, and there was a lot of them had so much talent. Like
Yeah.
these kids that were around me that were also going through poverty,
Yes.
and going through the system, and they were so talented in drawing, and they were smart. And it's like now, I mean, you hearing that. It's kind of a boom. They're gonna try to do you anyway, and that's hard to get over. It's a system. It's a system we pay for. They're telling us, But,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it is. It is
It's
it's
messed
very
up.
difficult. That's why it's like teachers need support in the way
Yes.
of love, in the way of thanking, in the way of it used to
Money, you give them a better salary. It would kind of help a little bit.
money's a big deal. I
Jesus.
mean, money's a big deal, especially when you think if the person went to school and they had to borrow, they took out student loans or whatever, and then what they're making it's not
ever-
enough.
And it's just
And
such an
they're
important job.
still buying things
Yeah, but you know what? After you
out of
said
their lack.
these things, I never understood it. This thing that goes on with the raise. What are we
Right,
debating?
correct. No,
What's the
and
problem?
we can look into that. Let's look back into and do some research. So, I mean, follow the money. is
Yeah,
probably the biggest phrase. If you want to find out what's going on in any area, whether it's education, whatever it is, follow them.
yeah, you'll find it.
Mhm.
And do you think these? Well, no, that's probably for another day. So these
You're
hoods
kind,
are
so you kind of hit
designed.
the nail on the head, and there may be a very
Yeah, it's by
strategic
design.
reason.
Not if I could never do that. But if I'm one of these people that have these jails and I'm in that mindset, we're gonna make as
Yeah.
much. That means why not you create your clients? That's probably one of the easiest.
And how easy is it as a politician to run on let's make the schools wonderful?
Yes.
You know, let's give the teachers more money.
Oh, right. Everybody's
gonna
good. Who's gonna say no?
Who's going to say no
Yeah.
to that?
Yeah. And then what happens to people that are left down there? They have no voice. Who's gonna listen to them when they say none of that money came here?
Mm-mm.
You know, so really sucks. That was some really hard stuff. Look at you. Okay, so is that what made you switch to the mental health? I know one of the parts was you saw the need of the mental
Yes,
health.
it definitely was. You know, from the very start, there were things that I just couldn't understand. And you know, they were different from my own upbringing. And I would see, you know, I'd call parents and I'd ask, you know, would it be possible for them to bring paper to I would hear that would be like a door opening into all of the problems that they're being faced with.
Yeah, because not just paper. There's a reason why I can't go to the store
Right.
and buy a $2 pack of paper.
Okay.
It's not that I don't want to.
And then, you know, you get into the in-person conferences, parent conferences, that's big fighting, the children will be sitting there and you see all of this. You see all of this emotion that's happening in the room. You see all of this it's really it's family, it's generational trauma.
Yes.
And it's hard. It's hard to, you know, to navigate those conversations beyond, you know, yes, we can provide tutoring.
Here's
we
a
can do
number
this,
or
we
here's
can do
yeah.
you know, but you know that the need is that what you're in there and what you're discussing is like the
Yes.
tip of the pen or tip of the needle. And there's so much more that is going to go unaddressed for probably years and
And
maybe
then continuing to the
into
child.
their
And
adulthood. And then it may, again, we'll have the same. Yeah.
so I think it's nuts because if we could pay attention to that, can you imagine? Well, I know once people started paying attention to me, Carolina, one of them, teachers and programs, individual people that run these programs that said, I'm going to help, I'm going to be there. Once that happened, it broke that cycle. My kids don't live in
Yes.
poverty. They've never done drugs, work all
Yeah.
day, you know.
It's just a matter of shifting. There's a different way.
And it doesn't take a lot. People didn't none of them gave me money. All of them gave them love, support, and belief.
And that's what we all need. That's what the teachers need. That's what the kids need. That's what your administrators that are in the trenches, you know, fighting for things with, you know, the people that are above them.
Yep.
It's what we need, and we need transparency. We need to make sure that what is being done is shown.
Because if you can't see it,
Then-
can we fix that?
No.
Great. I love it. Okay, so can you tell someone that's thinking about making a career transition? Because that's a big deal. I mean, you were there for a long
I was.
time.
I was.
Did you get that feeling slowly of I need to do this? I need to do it. Or was it just
Yeah. Oh, I think it was a slow thing. I've always wanted to be a helping person.
obviously teacher? It doesn't get more helping than that.
And I loved the whole idea of teaching from a very young age, which you'll find most teachers say this. You know, they knew they wanted to be a teacher when they were a child.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
So you grow up and you know you want to do that along the way. You know, like I said, there were different points where you become disillusioned to what teaching is, what you thought it was, and what it is. And then you settle into, okay, this is what it is. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay.
Motivation comes
That's
back.
it. Yeah. And then it just got to the point where I thought, you know, doing good here, but I think I can do better. I can do more with a change. And I spoke to several people, one of which was my immediate family, But in addition to being my immediate family, my aunt is a psychiatrist.
Oh, so this is this is part of your, oh, that's
Yes.
cool to hear, actually.
And
That's where it comes from, the
so I
healthy thing.
spoke with her, and I asked her, what were her ideas, what she thought about my situation. And she just very, nonchalantly, which is how she is, just said, well, have you thought about counseling? And I said, no, but
But ahead, right? You've
yeah.
been thinking about,
So-
yeah.
So she said, okay. She said, well, why don't you take a look into that? She said, because that will allow you to, get in there with the people that need your help. You'll be in a clinical setting. You can, really work at some of those things that you have been seeing that you don't have the skills now to address.
Oh, so actually, I didn't think about that. So you have already. So I know your career in counseling isn't 20 years, but you kind of seen the issue for 20.
Correct. And I would do everything I could.
Of course, but
I
limited.
didn't have the
Yeah.
skills. I didn't have the training. So that's I went and I got the training.
So when you got, well, first of all, do you have to do the 2 years? How does that work? You have to
So
do the masters again?
the master I did, and it was a little longer than 2 years. So when I started the program, I had just gone through a divorce. My mother had been diagnosed with large B-cell lymphoma, which was a pretty aggressive cancer.
Sounds like.
And then I also needed to still work full time.
Yes,
and
because
so
you don't
correct, they
not
don't
even,
pay
even
you.
after the education, right?
Exactly. And was acting basically single parenting, and it was rough. And so I didn't do things like the normal, let's say 20 something getting their master's degree. It took me a few years, went through COVID. So that was, I started in 2019, and then I didn't graduate. I took things very slowly until 2005.
But that says a lot about you.
I really wanted it.
Yeah, you kept
I
doing
really
whatever
wanted
you
it.
had.
It was very important to me. And I feel like, why are we here if we're not here to help? Why are we here?
Yes, there's no other. All the greats talk about it. That's exactly what Compass is, right?
Yeah.
From Mr. Kennedy, everyone talks about it. It's the ability to help someone be empathetic. So
Yes.
yeah, I love it. And once you go that route, yeah, maybe you're not being millionaire, but you feel good. You
That's
know,
right. You will love life. You will love
Each
the
and
life
every
that you're
day.
creating for yourself, and it just continues to grow.
Now I have a question about the skills. So while you were going to school and you're learning about like diagnoses and different
Uh-huh.
mental health, are you like comparing like, oh, that's what happened this time and when I was doing the teaching?
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
definitely could think back and just kind of like retro diagnose people.
Yeah. Watch.
Now you think, oh yeah, that person.
That's what
No.
that was.
Yeah.
How cool. So it was kind of, you were doing the counseling while training because you had all these situations.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I never, let's say, practiced, while I was still.
Oh no, of course.
But,
not.
but no, I was definitely able to glean some really good interventions or strategies to help.
That would
Especially
have worked if that was your client. Yeah.
and just generally be more present and aware in the moment.
And you can see actually that makes you a very strong counselor. So a client that comes sees you, I mean, the benefits would be huge because you know the impact if we don't do this right. Like you see what happens and how dark it can get when we don't get this right. It's not just a career.
Yes.
You've had the experience of what happens when no one does the job. So yeah, you can help some people. I can't wait. I see it. So what is your favorite part about, because you have seen clients, you have been practicing at another agency, high reviews, by the way. I would have to do the research on somebody. You've been getting those reviews.
Yes.
What is your favorite part about it when you're doing this class?
I think my my favorite part is to watch the light of hope grow in the clients
Yes.
as they start to feel the change and the power and the momentum of
Yep.
change.
Yep.
And so that's exciting to me because I feel so honored to be a part of the journey that client is
Yes.
going through, and to be able to use my clinical skills.
Yeah, what battle
which
to
I'm
go
bringing,
get for?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, those are, I took a long time getting them. I think there's definitely been enough time for those things to settle on me and become very natural and very organic part of the way I do things. And I do attribute that to the successes that I've had with clients. Like you mentioned, several of the Google reviews that I've had, and
good reviews, FYI. I was like, man,
Yeah.
that was really good.
Yeah.
So what is your like specialty? I know you like helping, and you're not gonna say no, you don't fit that, but
Yeah.
but what is like that type of situation or approach that is like always good?
Somebody that needs help.
Welcome to America. We're here.
So, I
love that answer though. I love it.
Because in the school system for so long, I feel like I definitely have a soft spot for kids, especially kids that may have learning disabilities, in particular attention deficit disorder.
Hello, I'm the kid now.
I have attention deficit disorder as well.
Welcome to the
Yes.
to crew. No, the crew. Is there a crew for this?
The crew. It's the crew. Yeah,
You wouldn't know
for
we
the
stopped paying
first
attention.
for the first few years of my schooling, parents I think had me tested for epilepsy. I mean, had my hearing tested because something was clearly wrong with this girl.
I couldn't put my finger on it.
Exactly.
I imagine that. Tested for everything.
Exactly. And back in the we'll leave the year out, but
Good one.
a while back,
Yes.
attention deficit, and especially in girls, was not something that was regularly diagnosed. And there wasn't a whole lot there wasn't a lot of information on it. So, but that's a common scenario I ran into in school, and
yeah, they didn't know what to do with me. They put me
No.
in special ed. They even put me in what is it? When you're more of a Spanish speaker.
Oh, ESOL classes.
ESOL.
Yeah.
But my first language is English. They put me
Yeah.
there. They kept
Yeah.
moving me around
I didn't
everywhere.
know how to address it.
And as an adult, I find out.
And that's the thing, is that you said that you dropped out.
Yes.
Okay, so this would be a path that we would see over and over again, because the teachers are not trained on how to address that in a productive way, so that we can appeal a little bit more to that side, but without it taking away too much from the class, without it completely interrupting the flow of the class. And there are ways to do this if we want to invest and we want to fund.
Got it.
But without that, there are still ways to help things. Something that also doesn't get talked about is this whole component where, ADHD is many times, an ADD is many times comorbid with depression.
Yes.
It's just not something that you see very frequently, especially in the public school system. And if you do, then it will have come at a significant cost to someone. Somebody's paying for an extra aid or something like that, or maybe
make the corrections pay for it.
Right? They're getting the
Let them
money,
pay.
but I would say that probably is something that caused a lot of heartache in a lot of the communities where I taught. I taught in Osceola, Duval, Clay, and Nassau counties.
Yeah, and as a kid, the hardest thing is that you don't know what you're doing wrong. So everybody's
No,
telling you
they
you're
don't.
doing something
Correct,
wrong.
and you have no understanding of.
I'm trying to be
how to
my
correct it.
best.
Yep.
Like I'm trying, and that's
Yes.
that's what used to happen a lot to me. I was trying to really get good grades
Yes.
and be a good kid, but someone was always taking me out of the class and
Yeah,
telling me I did
because it's
something
not
wrong.
it's not a character issue, and that's the that has been kind of the biggest problem for people to look past, is that this is not a bad kid. This is a kid that is struggling with doing this particular task.
Learning in your system,
Yeah.
in the box. My grandson is he's autistic and ADHD, but they have an IEP. Is that what it's called? And I mean, the difference when we first kind of didn't know, he was not doing well in school, and now when the mom tested him and found out, she uses all these programs. This kid is like,
Yeah.
he's killing it in
Yeah.
school. He's doing so well. So yes, like you said, we invest. The changes in the future is great. So I'm excited that you are you do virtual and in
Yes.
person,
Yes.
right? So
Both.
you do both.
Both. All.
Let's use a beeper. Well, no,
Yep.
beepers are not used. But yes, I'm very excited. So you do couple, from what I was reading, you do the couples, individual, and children. What's the
Children.
youngest you go?
So 8 years old is generally, because if that's around the age where you're going to start seeing those learning disabilities really start impacting not just the child and their the whole school interface and all that, but the family, because there may be one parent that tends to try to moderate, try to mitigate the damage, try to smooth things over, and the other parent not really understanding
They
maybe
just
the
want this to
situation.
get better now.
Yeah, correct.
Just get it done.
And that can cause a lot of tension in the family.
So that's your approach when it comes to the kids. You work with the parents like
Correct.
closely.
It's
and
the
that's
it's a
good
whole
idea.
family
And
thing.
it is. There's
Yes.
no other way.
Yeah.
Is it harder to work with children that have these, or is that you just feel at home there? It's because you were a teacher.
Yes.
You were around. You were surrounded by it
Yeah.
all the time. And the
No.
difference is now you're
We're
trained.
we're all people. I don't see people as the concern that's bringing them in. If I were a doctor, I wouldn't see people. If I was a doctor that worked with people's feet, I wouldn't see people just as feet.
What an example.
I try to look at the person and realize the most important thing for me is going to be to get to know who this person is and what shaped them. And once I can kind of ascertain who is this person in front of me and what did they want, what did they need, what are they most longing for, that's where I go.
Nice.
And that's where we can deepen an understanding about each other, so that it's not just about a performance in school, or how mom sees Johnny and not how dad sees Johnny, or it's a whole new way of experiencing life that starts on an emotional level, an attachment level.
I love that. I love what you just said, man, because we would all do that in life. People are so beautiful. I swear, I
Yes.
love people, but
Yeah.
we have these things, protections and things
Yes,
that we
that block.
build. Yeah, and I have ADHD, and this person has that.
Yes.
And these things don't allow people to go deep. But once you go deep and you see, when you discover it, you see the eyes change on the
Yes.
person, the face changes, and it's like,
Because you
hello,
see
yeah,
them.
yeah.
Now they feel that you see who I am. You don't see the things that cause me problems.
That's what people has. I love it. Oh, you are. Wow. I am excited. What do you think has to, now that you've been providing counseling for a while and,
Yes.
and doing the work, what do you think? I ask every counselor I interview this. What do you think in the mental health industry, what is missing to make it?
That's missing in the mental health industry?
Yeah, that we could be doing more of, or not doing at all. Like, what do you think is needed?
Well, I think, going back to just a little bit earlier in our conversation, I would really like to see more done in schools.
It's like a ground zero.
Correct.
That's where you could get it
Yes.
done there.
Yeah. Because we're not just with the kids, but the people that are working with the kids. They need the most support. Both of those groups do. And anything we can do to promote and give more access to those people, I think would just
Bigger
leaps and bounds make changes more positive, more better outcomes for not just the kids, but the families and the system in general.
Yeah, good answer.
Where I'm clinically trained and other people that have gone through the training and 1,500 hours of direct client
For free.
for years. We learn to listen for what is the need and what is going on, and we are able to attune to that, and not for the purpose of getting you to come back.
Yeah, got you.
For the purpose of you came to us for help. We are in a helping career because we chose this.
Yes.
And I would be interested. I never looked this statistic up, but I would be interested to find out what number of people who are therapists, even as a second career, came from helping fields as well.
I
suspect
everyone,
it's a high
yeah.
percentage.
Well, every provider I know has come from some a field where they were helping as well before. I don't know about teachers, but that's a big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think most of the people I know, it's just ingrained. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just and what you're saying about your aunt, it sounds like that's the way
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
So I think it has also something to do with the people around you, and also you harsh in life. Usually that
Yes.
changes you too.
Correct.
I'm gonna help you because
because I made it through this. And I want
Yeah.
to help other people through this. That's such a powerful place to help from. That live that experiential reference.
yes, you've
So-
seen it, you've done it. But I am
Yeah.
so excited. I am very grateful that you're here, and I think you super great. I just really, really do because
Yeah.
you could tell you really want to help.
Yes.
And you've shown it by being a teacher for 20 years. You've shown the world all I want to do is do something to give value to the society.
Yeah.
So I think you're gonna do really, really good. I'm excited for what you have coming. You have anything you want to share before you go?
I would like for people to know that this is a lifelong pursuit for me. The building blocks that have made me up have brought me to this place, and I'm excited. I'm ready to be here, and I'm ready to start this amazing journey with change. And I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
Yeah, come see her. I am telling you. You're doing the free consultation?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yep.
someone's interested just to know more
Yeah.
about you. They
Set it up.
Yes.
Set it
All
up.
right. I'll put all your stuff everywhere, your links and all that stuff. Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed your time.
Thank you for having me. It was so amazing.
Anything you need from us, we're here. Thank you.
Read after me. I am powerful.
I am